Offers live telecast on channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Anytime we have Chicago City things on, we're representing not us, but 1,700 people, okay? Families, parents, players. Charlie Latchaw, the director of soccer at Chicago City. We're really excited this year to start our USL programming with the 19s. Next week we head to Tampa for our first go at the USL Academy Cup Showcase. The boys have been in for about a month, so we had them out today just for a little friendly against each other. The Tri-City with 19s against our Academy 19s, and then internally here with the 16s and our 19-2s. It's been a really good group, and we're really looking forward to the start of the USL youth setup for ourselves.
I'm Peter Serbo. I'm an 05 from Elk Grove Village, Illinois. It's my my second year with Chicago City. I'm really excited about the USL Academy Showcase because of the ability to play with a bunch of different players. I think it's probably going to be one of the best competitions that I've played against.
Welcome to the pregame show brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. I'm Kyle Smith, but I don't matter. This young man matters. Andrew Schweinert, the SBS pregame show. Andrew, it's a big matchup tonight. Only one loss for St. Charles. You guys are undefeated. Do you feel like you have a target on your backs, or is it just business as usual today?
There's a little target on our back. You know, last time we were here, we upset Des Moines Menace and kind of sent out shockwaves around the league, I think. But, you know, we like the challenge, and we plan to stay unbeaten after tonight's game. So.
When it comes to playing soccer, everybody plays it a little bit differently with the midfielders and the forwards. What does Des Moines do that's different from St. Charles?
Well, Des Moines, they were a very, very good group of players, and they kept the ball for a lot of the game, and that's kind of a style we want to play too. And I think St. Charles will kind of look to defend and counter because I think we'll have the majority of the ball, and so yeah, it'll be a totally different game from the Des Moines.
What does it take to maintain ball possession, time on attack in the game of soccer? Obviously, you want to get the ball, but getting the ball is the name of the game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, every team has a different philosophy, and our coach, Charlie, really prides our team in keeping the ball, so we have a lot of good technical players, and that way we can make the other team defend for long spells in the game and wear them down, and then that creates better chances for us and obviously more goals.
What's interesting about the USL is only 2 teams from each conference. Not every conference has 2 teams that make the playoffs, so every match matters. Do you guys feel pressure at all to go undefeated in the regular season and make the postseason, or is it just, you know, the old PJ Fleck mentality? We're going to go 1-0 every week.
Yeah, I think it's more just 1-0 every week, one game at a time. You can't really, I mean, it's a beast of a league. You got some really good teams, and so you kind of just got to finish the job or take each game one step at a time and go from there.
Final thoughts about the match today?
I'm really excited to play. I know 2 guys in the other team, and they're a strong side. I think they're a new team in the league, and we just got to go about our business and continue our hot start.
That's Andrew Schweiner. That does it for our pregame show. The play-by-play broadcast of St. Charles FC from Missouri and Chicago City SC coming up next. Welcome to the Pregame Show, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network.
Tilted.
Starting lineup for your St. Charles FC. Number 1, Lucas Moorfield. Number 3, Bryce Glisson. Number 5, Charlie Dickerson. Number 7, Ignacio Abien. Number 8, Juan Kudry. Number 9, Joseph McGuinness. Number 12, Mikel Ravello. Number 21, Cameron Caldwell. Number 22, Quentin Blair. Number 23, Hubert
Update the roster.
Number 24, Andres Mesma.
What I had before I started doing stuff.
And now the lineup for your Chicago City SC. Number 2, Ernest Mensah. Number 6, Lucas Ender. Number 9, Marek Gonda. Number 10, Bryce Blevins. Number 17, Justin Darlard. Number 21, Ernest Bawa. Number 22, Oscar Dueso. Number 23, Mark Torregas. Number 24, Matthew Senanu. Number 25, Axel Alejandre. And number 23, Jackson Wayman.
Good evening, everybody. It's 6 o'clock on the dot. That means it's about some time for some USL 2 men's soccer. Kyle Smith alongside my good friend and partner, Grant Harrison, for another production of SBS. Today, partner, it's St. Charles FC against Chicago City SC. The pressure now is on Chicago. They're undefeated. They beat Des Moines, who only had one regular season loss in their last 2 seasons. And now it's up for Chicago to win the division. 2 automatic bids for the Heartland Conference. If Chicago goes undefeated, they will get the higher seed for the round of 32.
Well, Kyle, it's great to be here, and I am a food man, so let me tell you, the name of the game today is beefy, much like the delicacy of St. Charles, Missouri, where St. Charles FC reigns from. A toasted ravioli, crispy and crunchy on the outside and beefy on the inside. That's the name of the game today, and especially for Chicago City SC. Their front 4, watch out today. It's total football, if you will, from Chicago, and be on the lookout from number 21 for Chicago, Ernest Bawa. What a game he will have today.
Yeah, I mean, my pick to click, we had Schweinert in the pregame show. We've seen a lot of Torellis. He almost scored in the home opener, the season opener, actually, against Springfield. I'm going to pick Torellis, and here we go. Soccer has begun in the city of Chicago at beautiful Lions for Hope Sports Complex.
as it's played right now by Chicago in their own end. They send it over to the other defender, that time at Onder. As Onder, he's got Mensah on his right. Instead, he feeds it that time to Alejandre. Now back to the defense, and he's going to try to feed it out to the left, and he does. So Chicago's, they got the ball first to start it off, Parter, not doing a lot with it, just taking their time to feed it up to the midfielders.
Chicago City in blue, St. Charles in red. You saw number 23 there for St. Charles with a great attack. That was Kopani. Watch him up front today for the Missouri natives.
Bryce Glisson was the last one to touch that, as it's on the throw-in. It was touched that time by Mensah on the throw. Now over to the midfield. Tapped over that time by Onder. Now at midfield, as setting it up that time by Sanau. Now over to the boundary. Past the foot that time of Blevins. And then tapped over by McInnes. As first time we've said St. Charles names today. They had it briefly. It was touched out by Chicago. And then a throw in that time to Kapani.
What a beautiful little touch there to keep the pressure on Chicago right now. Now St. Charles will get another chance to keep the pressure on as they get it within the 22.
Played right now by St. Charles, as it's kicked out off the touchline, out to the 40-meter. Now played to 12, that's Ravello, and now back out to the 40, kicked away by Blair. As playing it out to the touchline is St. Charles, out the 40-meter, kicked over to the touchline. Sent over that time to Torrellis, stolen away by St. Charles. Now it's fed to Kapani, as Kapani's right-footed kick goes back to the far touchline. Little hesitation move and then sent forward past the 40-meter, in between the 40 and the 22, trying to tap it out that time at Sanau, and then kicked away by St. Charles FC. Last one to touch it was St. Charles. Chicago will take it. Throw in for Chicago, as both teams, Grant, right now, they're getting it inside the 40, but they're having trouble getting it past the 22-meter.
And we've seen the ball just hung around that touchline over there on that far end of the field. Finally, we'll get some play here on this right end of Chicago.
Right-footed pass, tapped over and cleared by St. Charles, and then stolen by Kapani. Sent over to the 40-meter near the touchline. St. Charles making the kick. Hesitation move that time by Sesma. As Sesma taking his time, defense comes, push off, no call. Advantage anyways if there was a call by the official, and Chicago would have the advantage. It's played right now by Bawa, as now to the 40-meter, sent back to the 22.
You're seeing some great communication from St. Charles so far. You know, they haven't had many games this season, but you can tell they've played well in the games that they have played.
This is basically a must-win for St. Charles. Remember, only 2 teams make the postseason. There's no play-in games, like a wild card game out of the conference. So to make the round of 32, you got to be the best 2 records. The problem is Des Moines, Chicago, and St. Charles are all in the same conference, and Des Moines already lost. Are they going to lose again? St. Charles can't play that type of game, waiting to see if Des Moines loses again. So for St. Charles, they basically have to win out now that they have a loss.
The other problem is St. Charles does have the loss. Like you said, Chicago City undefeated.
Right.
And you come here on this home pitch, travel all the way across the state of Illinois, and you have to have a great showing. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what St. Charles can do today.
You can take the tie, but like I said, you're battling with Des Moines, Chicago to get into the top 2 teams in the conference. So for St. Charles, you need that road win. And the other thing too, partner, is you've probably realized this is a rugby-only pitch.
It is.
It's the 40-meter, you got the 22-meter. So for soccer teams, there's a reason why both the men and women are undefeated on this pitch. It's very different than other soccer teams that have played on high school or college fields, as it's offside, committed that time.
Talking about the pitch, though, it's cool right now. We've got some cloud cover, some rain rolling in that might hit us around halftime, but this field has been baking in the sun all day. First warm day in Chicago about all week, and this turf, it runs about 20 degrees hotter than the outside temperature. So it's up to the teams and the players themselves to put up with the elements of this turf field right now.
Out to the touchline. It's played over that time to Mensah as it's tapped over to Blevins and kicked out by St. Charles. Throw-in coming up for Mensah. to the 40-meter. And then sent over by Chicago. Lead pass over to Bawa at the 22-meter. And then played back out to the 40, now at midfield. Sending it over to Onder, as Onder on his right foot. Lead pass as he gets it over to Dueso. Stolen away by St. Charles, cleared by St. Charles, as Wayman way out of his net, and he'll do a little tap pass to the 40 out to Onder. Tap and go goes Chicago, intercepted by St. Charles, and back to Chicago. Played over to Mensah on his right foot. Mensah dribbling it himself, stop and go move, and then taps it over that time to Torellis. Torellis trying to slice his way into the defense, stolen by St. Charles, now out to the 40-meter. Back and forth we go, partner. Ball possession. Chicago's slightly winning that battle, but St. Charles has been good on defense inside their own 40-meter.
I would say so. And you see the hint of cooking in the kitchen, you know, getting in the box, getting in the penalty area. Chicago really hasn't penetrated too much yet, but they will today. And going back to Wayman leaving his box there earlier, it always makes your heart skip a beat, doesn't it, when you see your keeper out that far in the opposition right in his kitchen.
Yeah, very deep out of his own territory, but he knows that this is a St. Charles team. They score a lot of goals. The problem with St. Charles, partner, if you saw the goal differential on the USL2 website, only a +1 GD, where Chicago much better. For St. Charles, that's you're always playing with fire when you're scoring just as many as goals you're giving up.
There's something about the minor leagues, lower end professional leagues. There's that grit, that competition, and it is abrasive at times, and you see it here between these two teams.
Off the foot that time of Capani, stolen away by Chicago. Now at the 40-meter, slide tackle, looking for the call. Chicago keeps possession, so if they'd done the free kick part, they would have only gained about 5 meters if they'd called the free kick. The problem with the free kick, too, is it allows the defense to set their wall and set their D, whereas if you play advantage, Chicago plays a regular 11-on-11, and maybe you see a hole in the defense on the lead pass with the through ball.
There's something to be said about those set pieces, Kyle. The first team to get set, the first team to get there and get ready, they have the edge. It's not where the ball is. It's not who has the ball. And, again, where the ball is. It's who is ready, who gets that second to breathe, recollect themselves. And luckily, St. Charles and Chicago here have been both playing the possession, playing it through. No calls yet, but we'll see what continues.
Wayman kicked over to the 22. Well, they played advantage. I don't think there's an easy way to determine for the official, because very rarely will you see a free kick, unless it's close to the 22-meter, goes directly in the net off the free kick. So you award the free kick, which would have been at the 40-meter. Instead, they played advantage. Would Chicago have scored off that free kick? Probably not, but they would have had a set piece with a couple of passes closer in front of the net. But they don't call the free kick, and Chicago gained some meters off the advantage, but they weren't able to get it inside the 22. Meanwhile, St. Charles deep in their own territory. We saw St. Charles the other night. They played on Sunday, and they beat Springfield 3-1. They trailed at half, 1-0, as it's stolen away by Mensah. There's a Bawa, as that's a free kick. Oh, they're going to not call it. They're going to play advantage. Gonda with it, as Gonda lost it. I like the call, though, Parter. He gained 10 meters on the advantage. No need to call a free kick if he had a couple of meters of space in front of him.
Gonda has been up there all day. That comes right down to the formation of Chicago. Those front four not playing a position, but being a player, and that's what's key today.
Out to the sideline, and now played by Capani. Out to midfield. Then a little tap pass over to the boundary, over to Abil. Abil falls down, and ball goes out of bounds. No whistle was blown, so we play on.
Little contact there, so we'll get a corner.
We do have instant replay, so if you want to watch it, you can hit that rewind button and see for yourself if you thought it was a free kick or play on.
Kuzri will take this corner kick here. Let's see what he can do off the set piece.
Straight up in the air, header and offside. Can't have it if you're St. Charles, Grant. You got to know where you are at all times. Not good soccer IQ there by St. Charles.
Well, 9 times out of 10, when you see a great attack in the box off a corner to kick, probably going to be offsides. You don't see those fast breaks or an open gap too often at this level.
They had a chance, but they were clearly offside. Ref saw it all the way, calls the offside, and for Chicago, a little bit of a break. I don't think they would have scored anyways, as there was a couple of defenders right in front of Wayman to deflect that ball out, but offsides was called, and now Chicago ball. Out to the 40-meter, tap and go. They send it over to Mensah Jr. on his right foot. Double team comes, and Mensah very wisely able to keep it in. He's now feeding it that time to Alejandre, as Alejandre setting it up to his defender and Onder. Now feeding it to Blevins. Now to Alejandre, and then eventually back to Jackson Wayman. Jackson Wayman was our SBS man of the match in that 3-1 upset win over Des Moines. A lot of saves he had in that game, partner. 10 total saves as Chicago at home defeated Des Moines, a team that only lost once in the past 2 years of regular season play.
When a goalie can register 10 saves in a match, that is impressive here. As we've seen, we haven't seen a lot of shots on net so far off pure play, but 10 saves, that is something to be recognized.
Absolutely, partner. He is one heck of a goalie, is Jackson Wayman. Meanwhile, played at midfield by Chicago.
Chicago previously loving the left side of the pitch, and now on the right end, trying to get through the middle. Last to touch it will be St. Charles. I believe that was Glisson.
Mensah Jr. on the throw-in, and it's kicked back out to Onder. Then Onder to Alejandre. Passed his foot, but nobody was there to greet him in terms of stealing it. This is a Chicago team, partner. They had the confidence coming into this season, but a lot of teams thought it was going to be Des Moines easily to win the conference. Chance for Chicago, left-footed kick, save, another try, and a goal! If at first you don't succeed, try again, and that's what happened to Chicago. First shot unsuccessful, rebound try into the back of the net. Chicago strikes again, partner. They've now scored 6 unanswered goals since trailing 1-0 to Des Moines.
What a beautiful goal. The little touch with the leg behind the back to find that angle, to find the hole, and to find the net. What a score. What an opportunity for Chicago to make the statement here in only the 12th minute of the match.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Made it 1-0. And for Chicago, now the pressure is on St. Charles to come back in this match.
To deliver a statement that early, too. Just almost a slap in the face to St. Charles, and you got to wonder how they're going to respond. But look at this right-in play, just a bit too far.
Straight up in the air, off the body. It's a nice-looking goal. The original shot was off Torellis. It was saved by Moorfield. But the rebound try was there, and Chicago leading 1-0. All because they're leading the battle in terms of ball possession. The goal itself, it was a no-look off the heel into the back of the net.
That's just an experienced janitor right there on the cleanup. That's an aisle 5. That's a rookie.
Wayman will get out of his net. Looks for Onder and feeds it to him. Wayman's a good keeper, partner. That might be all that he needs, but Chicago would love to score again to really put this one away. Lead pass off the chest. Offside that time by Oscar Dueso.
You'll see Chicago really take their time in their own end, but they don't look uncomfortable back there. Have they been playing like that all season on the attack right afterwards?
Yeah, they're just in constant pressure, constant ball possession. Only time that they've struggled with ball possession has been Des Moines, and you would kind of think that because of how dominant Des Moines has been the last couple of years. But what they lack sometimes in ball position, they might have the best keeper in the entire conference, and we saw against Des Moines, Jackson Wayman up to the task with 10 big saves. It also didn't help that Des Moines committed a very crucial penalty in their own box. PK made it 3-1. That was a 3-1 win for Chicago, but Chicago can win in a lot of different ways, and the good news is for Des Moines, in men's Heartland, 2 teams can make it. For the women's league, only 1 team can make it. That's a big match tomorrow afternoon, as both teams, Chicago and Minnesota, are both undefeated. Only 1 team can make it, the Heartland winner. Now they do have a wild card, as that's a header try, goes wide. It was fed that time to McInnes.
You talk about possession there, but I want to talk about tempo. You're already seeing sweat pouring down the backs of the strikers here. Like we said, we're only in the 15th minute, and these players, they're not exhausted. They're just working their heads off trying to get the ball in and get it in quickly. So they maintain possession, and when they do have it, the boots are moving faster than...
At midfield, as it's played over to Capani, then tapped over by Alejandre, as it was off the foot of Bawa. It's a battle at the near sideline, and it's won by Capani. Chance for St. Charles, kicked away. Very wise decision by Sanau, as there was a chance in front of the net.
Sadanu there, you see him coming up quickly, and hard to take anything other than that boot right out of bounds. Just relieve that pressure off your goaltender.
And that actually went past the end line. So will be a corner kick awarded for St. Charles. Right-footed boot coming up. Straight up in the air, not good enough hang time, but not cleared by Chicago. Like to see that ball up in the air a little bit longer. Chicago said that it was last touched by St. Charles, and it was.
Offsides on the last corner by St. Charles, and now this one, that fire turned into a fizzling flame pretty quickly there.
Yeah, that indeed was offside. That was 2 offsides off 2 corner kicks. Can't have it if you're St. Charles. Playing out right now is Chicago's Oscar Dueso. He's guarded by Abil, and it's going to be last touched by Chicago.
Tried to tiptoe the line, but just couldn't find it. So now St. Charles gets another chance. And if you got the arm strength, you could treat this one just like a corner. They'll go with the short throw in, of course, though. Behind the net and out, Chicago gets a goal kick.
Jackson Wayman working on a clean sheet. He has not really been tested. There was that play out in front of the net, the header to McInnes. Other than that, Chicago's been able to get the ball out once it gets inside their own 22. And quite honestly, Parter, we haven't seen the ball inside their own 22 much of the afternoon.
And when we have, it hasn't been there long. Chicago City regains control. And frankly, we haven't seen the ball much in either 22.
No.
Because Chicago City's attack is just that quick and effective that they can make something happen in just a short period of time.
Off the head at midfield, now off the chest, off the foot of Blair. Ball was there, but Sesma got to the ball quicker. Now stolen away by Chicago at their own 22. He's feeding that time to Rallis, and then left-footed kick past midfield. And cheating up will be Moorfield. He'll take it himself, and a little tap pass. What's interesting, Parter, is both teams, some people are wearing the long socks. Some people, they're deciding to wear the short socks because it's too hot for the long socks. When you were a soccer player, did you prefer the long socks or the short socks?
I'll tell you, I've played my fair share of games on turf, and I'm long socks all the way on turf games. That turf burn, this field is high quality, don't get me wrong, this Hope Field here. But that being said, it's still turf. And turf burn is not something to be messed around with, I'll tell you. So long socks all the way, and even a little tape under the knee to make sure they stay up.
because earlier in the season when it was a little colder out, we saw pretty much every player wear the long socks. But as it's getting hotter, we're seeing some short socks as well as the long socks. Remember, you got to put your shin guards. That's part of your jersey, and it's harder to keep them in when you got those short socks.
Yeah, you do see, especially on strikers who don't see much tackling. Right. You're not going to have the big defensive shin guards, though. I mean, you don't need to worry too much about keeping them in. You see 2 strikers up there with the short socks and small shin guards. Got to keep them light. Got to keep them quick in the box.
Stolen away by Mensah. Now he's feeding Alejandre. Now over to Torellis as they get it over to the far touchline. Now back to Torellis. He had that shot that was saved and then a rebound trying to the goal. That's where we stand right now. Good defense by St. Charles, and almost Onder made a mistake. He was going to do a little tap pass to his keeper and Wayman, but Joseph McKinnis saw it all the way and almost stole it if the pass was indeed sent.
So you go right back to it. Chicago, any other team right now, a team would be resetting, refocusing, right, trying to plan out their next attack. Chicago City, they already know their next attack before that ball goes back to the keeper, before it even makes its way to defense. You know, Chicago City, they're planning 3 steps ahead, and St. Charles are just playing a game of keep up right now.
Left-footed kick sent back. Oh my goodness, I think that touched the elbow of Sinanu, and no call, partner. That's a break for Chicago. Now, it would have been a free kick at the 40, but still, any kind of set piece would be good for St. Charles. Try for St. Charles. Tough angle, but it did indeed go off Wayman. He's pleading his case that it crossed the end line first, but in my opinion, the ref got the call right. A lot of things happening, though they're going to change their mind. They are going to award it to Wayman. A lot of things happening, partner. We saw the ball looked like it went off Sinanu's elbow. They don't call it. Then it's stolen by St. Charles. A chance, but a tough angle, easy save by Wayman. And then the ball eventually goes off St. Charles past the end line. A lot of things happening in a span of 10 seconds there.
St. Charles, it's probably their second or third great opportunity all day. And on that one, they just couldn't find it in time. Just a bit too long of an opportunity, a bit too long of a pass.
Header to the 40-meter now, St. Charles with it. As it's passed over to Glisson, stolen away by Chicago. Tapped over, a chance for Chicago. And it's last touched by St. Charles. So we'll have a corner kick, first one of the day for Chicago City. It'll be Bryce Blevins to take it. It'd be a killer if Chicago were to score here, partner. I mean, for St. Charles, they got plenty of time to come back, but soccer, especially when you're down 2-0, just so hard to come back in a soccer match.
As we said, it's the first team to get set. St. Charles was the first team to get set there. And there they just diffuse the situation, see the attack, see if there's anything new coming up, give them another corner kick, and get that ball out of there as quick as possible.
It was a break for Chicago because if it went off his chest, he could have played it off the chest and then cleared it down to the 50-meter. That's good hang time. And last touch by Chicago on the header. Both players going after it. You saw some pushing, but both players were pushing, so no need to call anything there. You just play on.
Bit rough in the box, of course, but
right.
That's any team. That's any level. That's any game, really.
Well, yeah, especially a game like this. St. Charles desperately needs the win. Now, you can't do the forearm shiver, kind of like what they look for in the NBA,
yeah.
Right?
You can't get the full extension.
Right.
Can't grab onto any jersey. No, you got to leave the kit untouched, and a little contact goes a long way.
Right. And you have to determine, did that push lead to you getting the ball? Did you push the defender off, or did the defender push the offensive player off the ball?
Exactly. It's always up to the officials, and sometimes there's going to be some disagreement.
Lead pass, and it'll be taken by Moorfield. The good thing about soccer is usually you can tell when it's a free kick. Basketball, unfortunately, it goes so fast. They'll watch it on replay, and Jeff Van Gundy and his partners will be like, I still have no idea if it's a charge or a block.
Well, if this was basketball, you and I would be at court level, too, which would help us out.
But, yeah, even so, you got Van Gundy, Jackson, and they still don't know if it's a block or a charge, but over to Wayman. At this level, no, they're good refs. You usually know if it's a free kick or a penalty kick. And sent back over to Wayman. It's off the foot that time of Onder. Now played to the 22.
See what Chicago has planned here, and it's a turnover.
Don't want to do that if you're Chicago. Deep in their own territory now, left-footed kick. Looking to clear. And you're right, Grant. The anticipation of Chicago, they don't panic. They know where everybody is without always having to look up for them. The practicing, the anticipation of the team chemistry, it's second to none for Chicago of any other team in the conference.
Little contact there again. No call. Chicago maintains possession.
Well, that's what the refs have set forth today. That clearly was, in my opinion, a free kick, but they're letting a lot of things go. And as long as you continue with that, you got to be consistent. Whatever you call in the first minute, you got to call in the 91st minute. And for Chicago and St. Charles, they're going to have to make the adjustments. Back to the 40-meter, right-footed kick out to midfield. Here comes Chicago, and Moorfield's going to cheat up and dive for it, pick it up.
Not taking any chances today, and who would with that precedent you mentioned earlier by the referees, letting some things go. You don't want to hit too many whistles in a game that matters this much for both teams.
Yeah. He also saw that his defender was on his back heel. It's always harder when your back's turned to get the ball, do the turnaround clear move. So Moorfield decided to just go out and get that ball. Only goal that he gave up in Moorfield wasn't his fault. He made the initial save. It was just a fantastic rebound goal for Chicago.
What an opportunity here.
Inside the 22. Right-footed pass. Chance, wide, but good opportunity. That's where you want to be, partner. In between both posts, right at the 22, that's where you want to shoot. Prime time opportunity, just went wide with the shot.
Although Chicago has had great success inside the goalkeeper's box today,
right,
with that one beautiful goal off the rebound.
It's turned out to be a very beautiful day for soccer. Not a lot of sunshine. It's an overcast day. We have some wind here at Lions for Hope Sports Complex. Chicago is pleading their case that it was last touched by St. Charles, but the nearest ref, sideline judge, says nope, last touch by Chicago.
Just heard a thunder crack off in the distance to the southwest corner of the field. Just proof that today might see a little rain here.
Oh, luckily, we're under the tent.
Can't say the same for the players, though.
No.
The dome has not been built at the Lions for Hope Sports Complex yet.
I don't really I do like indoor soccer, but when it's summertime, it's time for outdoor soccer. If it rains, it rains, but try to avoid the retractable roof soccer. But you're right, if it rains, that will be a factor today. It is an all-turf field, though. Corner kick coming up. Chicago's giving up a lot of them, but twice they've been offside, has St. Charles. Chance over the net.
To quote our resident weatherman here, little drizzly is the quote. Coming up here in the next hour or so. And as you mentioned, turf field, rain, gonna see a lot of slide tackles go about, I'd say 5 or 6 meters further than they were planned on. A little pause in the action here as
yeah, make sure he's all right.
Don't see any blood from this high up, but you know, you always got to be safe. 28th minute, plenty of soccer left to play. Don't want anything too serious at this minute.
And although it's a competitive soccer league, it's also summer league, so refs are going to make sure that they're okay as they get ready for their upcoming fall or spring seasons, depending on the women's or men's league. Wayman taking his time.
What a boot.
That was a heck of a boot.
And a touch as well.
Chance and goes wide. Good idea, though. So, Grant, what does St. Charles have to do? Because Chicago's setting the press at any time they get close to the 22. Even if they're to the right or left of the post, they're going to shoot. Should St. Charles let them shoot, or any time it's near the 22, they got to clear it at all costs?
On defense, it's tricky. You play a team this aggressive, this in your face, you gotta put a stop to them early, put a stop to them at midfield even. And you saw an opportunity earlier for St. Charles on the attack, and that came from the turnover. You know, you see them go one of two ways right off the goalie. That's what Chicago has been doing all day. They'll go to the left or they'll go to the right, and then they'll fan out from there. Then they'll plan their attack. St. Charles, they have to get in the face from the attack perspective, get their strikers up there like they're doing now, and then send them up there, hope for a turnover, hope to get them off balance almost, and then get your opportunity on attack. St. Charles sends that one up. City will find it on defense. Take over again as the ball trickles along the touchline, out of bounds, and St. Charles will get the ball back.
Throw-in off the leg and played at the 40 that time by 21 Caldwell. Now over inside the 22, lead pass.
Nobody's there though.
And nobody touched it, so it was last touched by St. Charles. They're getting close, partner. Now they got to find a way on those crossers. Get enough hang time, help out your forward to head it in on net. Stay onside. Brutal. 2 offsides on corner kicks. Got to at least stay onside and get that ball on net.
We see a couple substitutes warming up for Chicago City and St. Charles, so we'll see if there will be a substitution after the trainer checks out the defender of Chicago City. Can you see who that is, Kyle? Can't see him from up here. Oh, we can't say if his mother is watching. Your boy's well. He's up and moving around. Looks to be Darlene. Little meeting between the back line of Chicago here.
Jackson Wayman telling his back line as we had an injury substitution for Chicago. Got to make adjustments and make sure we don't give up any goals. They have not given up one since the first 5 minutes of action against Des Moines. That was back in May 28th to be exact. And if you include all 3 of their matches, only one of the 3 goals they've given up this season were on regulation 11-on-11 soccer. Springfield scored twice off corner kicks, and that's it. It's been fantastic defense by Chicago all season long.
I ask our fans watching at home to go back a couple seconds and look at that last attack. When someone disappeared, someone reappeared for Chicago City. Someone was always there watching the back of their, just connected with the boot of your friendly teammates right there in the kitchen of St. Charles. Ball goes out. St. Charles have the throw-in. Along the touchline.
Now played right now by St. Charles. It's played by McInnes. Out in front, and then kicked away by Chicago. At the 40-meter on the left foot. It's played now by Ravello. Out in front, kicked away. Now a try for St. Charles, and Wayman with the save. It was off the foot of Blair. About 25 meters away from the goal. And Wayman was up to the task with a nice save. Now at midfield. Off the foot that time of Darlarge. First time we've said his name tonight.
You talked about the athleticism of Wayman earlier in this broadcast, and there it is on showcase right there, making that dive towards the left post.
the 40-meter now. It's played over to Ernest Mensah Jr. Mensah played at the sideline, now back to the 22, sent back to Wayman off his left foot, now switching to the right. Little chip kick. He has a boot, Grant. He can get that from the end line all the way inside the 40. Meanwhile, here comes Chicago. Inside the 22. He's trying to feed it that time to Oscar Dueso. It goes off the body of a St. Charles player, out of play. Corner kick awarded to Chicago, and a chance to put this one away if you can score off the corner.
Almost looked like it was going over the head of the keeper there, but ball just carried a bit too much with these south to north, east to west winds here. Favoring Chicago right now. But wind will be in their teeth for this second half.
It was off the head, as the intended target at that time was number 9, Merrick Gonda. And it'll be St. Charles ball. Lucas Moorfield trailing 1-0. We're now in the 36th minute. Just a 1-0 lead. At the touchline. It was last touch that time by Torellis. Throw-in coming up for St. Charles. And it was briefly stolen by Chicago. Ball loose on the far touchline. Gonda was after it, and now headed by St. Charles. Now at midfield. Played that time by Cuzry. Over to the boundary on his right foot, feeding Cuzry. Cuzry at the 22, now back to the 40. A lot of good dribbling, but not able to gain meters. It's now over to Abil. Out in front, chance! Up in the air still. At the 22 now. St. Charles trying to get the equalizer, but Chicago clears it. And after all that, partner, they just can't get the shot on net that they wanted.
That ball will fall out of bounds. They'll go in for the throw-in, try to make something happen again. And it did look promising there for a minute. But Chicago just right into the grill of St. Charles.
Off the foot, stolen away. Here comes St. Charles. Kapani just didn't get a lot of mustard on it. And that's something that Wayman can save in his sleep. I mean, we've seen much more difficult saves by Wayman this season than that one. But, hey, if it goes right into his breadbasket, he'll take it.
There's that turnover we were talking about, though. St. Charles with an opportunity off a Chicago mistake.
At the 22. And it's stolen away by 22 in Blair. Out near midfield, St. Charles. They're getting some good ball possession in the last couple of minutes, Grant. Struggling with getting the shots on net, also struggling with staying onside.
Right here is where you got to dig deep in a match. It's, you know, a lot of pedestrian fans think it's the 90th minute, but no. Right here, before you go into a locker room, how do you want to enter that dressing room, and how do you want to exit that dressing room for the second half?
Right.
What's the mentality you take into halftime? And right now, it's any team's game.
And I know that momentum is a cliched term. Does it matter? Does it not matter? I think it matters somewhat, especially if St. Charles were to tie this up right before halftime, or at least get a shot on net that goes off the post, or Wayman barely saves it, to have some confidence going into halftime.
That's the beauty of sports, is we don't know what's going to happen. You and I, Kyle, we wouldn't be here if we did.
Right.
And
well, we could be here. We'd just be multimillionaires. We'd be Biff from Back to the Future Part 2.
No.
If we foretell the future.
That opportunity and what you make of an opportunity is what you make of a game. And to make that right now, you got to have a statement. What's your thesis going into halftime?
Right-footed kick. Good idea. What happened there, Grant? Did he get the wrong inside part of the foot when he shot that ball?
You know, St. Charles looked to put pen to paper there and write that thesis we were talking about, but no ink in the pen. Just no ink in the pen. Just couldn't find it. Goes off your laces the wrong angle, and that curve of the ball, it just gets harder and harder to watch as it strays further away from the net.
The other thing is, too, is they're looking for curve shots on Wayman. If you get it straight on net, unless you get a lot of topspin action on it, Wayman's probably going to save it. You can try the crash net philosophy, try to screen them. But Chicago is good of clearing out the strikers. High arching kick. Excellent hang time. In fact, at this USL 2, Grant, is a lot of these keepers, they don't do a lot of booting.
No. It's all left up to attack. And Chicago City seems to be playing that game very well today. You see it here from St. Charles. Let's see what they can do. But going back to Wayman, when you're facing, from St. Charles' perspective, when you're facing an athletic goalie like that, you got to work on your shots all week at practice. And it looks like St. Charles was just trying to find their tempo this week. Overall, speed is utterly useless if you can't put the ball in the net.
Out at the 22, as it's now played by Dickerson. Now over inside the 50-meter. To the 22 now. Out in front, crosser, headed up in the air, another try, up in the air again. Now back to the left side, and then cleared by Chicago.
No, and more no. That's what Wayman's saying all day in that box. St. Charles just couldn't find it.
He's got a lot of help from his defenders as Chicago is quick to head that ball out. And does that get to you a little bit if you're St. Charles, knowing that this is a Chicago team that hasn't given up a goal since the first 5 minutes of that May 28th match? It does. It really does. You play a team that is hard to score on, and when you do score on them, you can't win against them. You ask yourself all week, you see Chicago City on the calendar, you ask yourself all week, what can we do? And sometimes, Kyle, it's hard to come up with an answer to a question like that. Over to midfield, off the left foot. Played right now by Ravello. Now over to Glisson, as Glisson on his right foot. Glisson inside the 22, but stolen away by Chicago with a full head of steam. Here comes Chicago City. Now stopping and changing directions is Darlarge, as they'll keep possession but losing some meters. Played now by Torellis, now past the midway point and kicked over. Stolen away by St. Charles. Off the foot, back to midfield, as Chicago will get it back. Gonda will play it. Gonda, no look, back-footed pass as he sends it over to Blevins on his left foot. Now to the 25-meter part of the pitch. Mensah out in front, no one home, and the momentum of that ball is going to find its way to the far touchline as a throw-in coming up for St. Charles. And now the gamesmanship of the soccer match comes into play, Grant. If you're St. Charles, do you stay aggressive? Or if you get into trouble, do you get that ball out of bounds and waste time to at least be only down 1-0 going into halftime? Well, you've got to be aggressive, Kyle. This is your opportunity right here. Chicago City, you can see them on the attack. They're focusing on their goal. Chicago wants to go up 2-0. And St. Charles, they have an opportunity to take advantage of that back line, bring it up with some tempo, and get a goal for themselves here. Inside the 22, good pass, chance for Chicago. And it's in the net. They feed it to Gonda. He calls for it. He avoids the handball. And it's 2-0 Chicago City SC. B-E-A, beautiful left boot crossfield pass and right to the center, right to the gut of St. Charles. And Chicago finds home as you hear Chelsea dagger. And what a dagger it is into the hearts of St. Charles right before halftime. Well, I don't know if the fat lady's singing, but she might be warming up the vocals. That was a killer for the fans of St. Charles FC. Excellent pass, though. And the thing about it is, too, partner, St. Charles has to do a better job of clearing those forwards. If Gonda wasn't going to score, there was a teammate right to the right of him to help him out. They do. That goes right back to the opportunities we were talking about earlier. When one person fails, another succeeds for Chicago. That's not a soccer team. That is a team of soccer players. Well played, sir. Well played. 2-0 lead. And the thing about it is, too, Grant, when you look at this soccer pitch, it's just the pitch itself that it's made for rugby. You have a short sideline. There's gravel less than 10 meters away from the near sideline, the far sideline. The benches are close to the touchline. Does it get in the minds of these away players as, once again, both the men's and women's team for Chicago are undefeated going into tomorrow's match?
Well, you see about this much room at almost any field. You know, you see the bigger Premier League pitches across the pond. They do have some room to play. But this is intimate, I would call, Kyle. This is USL 2 soccer at its best.
Right.
The closed-in grounds, and even with 10 fans, this place would feel loud and packed. And it does here today with almost 100 in attendance here at Lions for Hope Sports Complex. So, no, it doesn't get in your mind too much as a visitor. But what does get in your mindset is
being
that
down 2-0.
Yeah, that doesn't help you, but that Chicago City is used to this field.
Right, yeah. I just wondered about that because some of these teams play on high school and college fields where it's more of a normalized American football pitch, and here it's a rugby pitch with not a lot of room on the sidelines. But once again, it's how Chicago is utilizing this pitch to their advantage. They know this pitch inside and out, and you can see it in the games that they have such a clear advantage over other teams. That shot's blocked by St. Charles. Good job getting in the way of that by Caldwell. But it's a tall task right now for St. Charles. And Grant, will they take the one, or will you see St. Charles just stay aggressive the entire match and do the unthinkable and try to score 3 unanswered goals for the win?
We've been talking about it all day as we hear the whistle for halftime. St. Charles needs to be on attack.
Right.
They can't sit back. They need this victory. They need this day, and they need this game.
It's a tall task. They're going to have to score 3 unanswered, assuming that they can stop Chicago from scoring the rest of the match. It's a 2-0 Chicago lead. As we go to halftime, we'll give you a 5-minute break, and then we'll give you some halftime analysis here on SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on Channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
My favorite activity is to play, where you can do softball, you can hula hoop, you can jump rope, and you can feed the horses. And you have monkey bars.
One of my favorite memories.
Back to the action at beautiful Lions for Hope Sports Complex. Kyle Smith alongside my partner in crime and friend, Grant Harrison. Second half about to start as it's 2-0 lead for Chicago City SC. And Grant, 2 goals scored in the first half. It's a large task right now for St. Charles FC to come back and at least get 1 point, but they really need the 3 because the 1 point still helps Chicago a lot more than it helps St. Charles.
I'll talk about St. Charles here in a second. I want to start off by talking about Chicago. What an attack they have had today. We've talked about it time and time again over this broadcast. It is teamwork all day, as well as tempo, pace, and possession for Chicago, and it is paying off. You see it on your scoreboard there, 2-0 for the Warriors of Chi-Town. Now over to St. Charles, of course. I've seen their strikers not lackadaisical, but patient. They're waiting for those turnovers. And when you're waiting for a team like Chicago City to make a mistake, you might need to just be a bit more aggressive today and go out on the attack a bit harder if you want those 2, maybe 3 goals.
Can St. Charles score 3 in one half to get the 3 points today?
3 is a tall order. Ask me after the first and then the subsequent second goal that I see out of St. Charles here. I see 2 out of them. I see a dogfight in this second half. What about you, Kyle?
I think it's going to be a 3-0 win for Chicago. I think they're going to score, and Wayman has just been too tough, too good. He is so good, partner. I've seen Chicago in a Midwest Premier League. Wayman usually plays in the USL 2, but he'll also be the backup goalkeeper for the Midwest Premier League, which is below the USL 2. He'll come up off the bench with little reps in practice in the warm-up and not give up a goal as the backup goalkeeper. That's how good
impressive.
Wayman is.
That is very impressive. And now, obviously, I haven't seen Wayman play too much or as much as you have.
Right.
But I will say this. I see Wayman, he's the one who's kind of a bit lackadaisical. He's getting the easy saves. He's getting the unlucky shots from St. Charles, which is helping them out. But I think there's a mistake coming for Wayman.
He's got to make 2 of them, though.
He's got to make 2 mistakes. That's the tall order.
Right.
That's the tall order. But the thing after 1 mistake is it's easy to make a second.
I mean, that's what separates the good goaltenders from the great ones, right?
Exactly.
That's what separates Tim Howard versus the other U.S. goalkeepers throughout the year. That's why Tim went on to play more competitive soccer than MLS and why other American goalkeepers haven't.
Exactly.
Get it out of your mind right away.
We'll see what Wayman has in his tool set today, but I can say this. St. Charles will not give Chicago an easy second half by any means.
Well, they got to score twice. The other thing is, too, is you give up another one, then it's really game over. But
really
if you somehow score twice in the next 10 minutes, which I don't see happening, but if you did, and if you gave up one to make it 3-2 Chicago, you could still score, theoretically, to tie it up at 3-3. So if St. Charles gives up one more, it's not necessarily over, but if they give up one more and they're down 3-0, then it would be over.
What we're getting to, folks, is whoever scores the next goal will be at least in competition today, if not the winner.
Right.
If it's Chicago, I'd say you could stick a fork in it.
Right.
St. Charles could be done.
You would see some substitutions for Chicago.
You would.
If they score in the next couple of minutes.
Exactly. There's more games to be played this year, and with St. Charles on your coat of your tail of your coat, I should say, you can't play it too safe. So Chicago won't come out easy either. And we've seen it in the first half, the referees letting some contact go, letting some, I'd say, aggressive tackles let go uncalled. And we'll see how St. Charles responds to that aggressiveness on the road here today with 45 minutes left to be played.
We are having some clock issues, so we'll make sure to get the clock situated before we start the second half. We're the official clock, so if there's any issues, go off ours.
There is a 15-minute halftime, but the clock was only at 12 when players decided, hey, we're ready. Let's get this thing underway.
Remember, though, the refs got to be ready. The players can always be ready.
Exactly.
It's up to the refs to decide if they're ready to go.
And they are ready, so we'll get started here shortly. St. Charles looking down, but not out.
If you miss any of the action, just hit the rewind button or fast forward button. We'll also record and upload the 720 and 1080p versions of the match. As it's cleared that time by 19. Now over to the 40-meter, played by Abil. Trying to cross, and they do. Falling to the pitch, looking for the penalty kick.
There's that attack.
Right. The ref decided that he fell down before any kind of contact was made. That's a huge call if you make, partner, because if they score on the PK, not only would it make it 2-1, but we're just 35 seconds into the second half. It completely changes the complexion of the match.
Exactly. Be on the lookout for that attack from St. Charles. And you're seeing it now. It is early aggressiveness from the Missouri counterparts.
Off the foot. Chicago pleading their case, and they get the benefit of the call. So the gamesmanship of soccer, Grant, is for Chicago, when do you be aggressive and when do you play a little monkey in the middle to try to waste time?
I think we've been saying it for 45 minutes now. That third goal, you hit it in, you find that relief, that ease of tension into the match, and then you put your substitutes in. Then you take the foot off the gas, but you still keep the pressure on nonetheless.
Over to the 22, crosser, off the tips of Wayman, went off his fingertips, and it's going to be a goal kick coming up for Wayman. It's Wayman not in any rush. His team is up 2-0. He's going to take his time. And he likes to boot it. Like you said, Grant, a lot of the time in this league, usually you just pass it off to an outside or center back and have them send it down the pitch. But Jackson, he likes to play it off the turf and get it past midfield inside the 40.
And the other thing is Wayman gets a chance to direct here. Get his defense up. Get the pressure up into St. Charles.
Right.
And that helps you dividends.
And the reason why that some of these USL 2 teams will opt for the defenders to take the goal kick is to keep the possession, because a lot of times you'll see it booted from the goalkeeper out to midfield, out to the 45-meter, and then it's quickly stolen away by the other team. So there's really no easy solution. Do you boot it down the pitch and hope to maintain possession, or do you play it inside your own 22-meter and try to send it down the pitch?
Well, you want to send it down as far as possible. I mean,
right.
You get a chance to breathe like that. You want your opportunities to be as far forward and as hopeful as can be.
Right. But some coaches, they like to maintain possession. They'd rather go end-to-end with the ball instead of booting it down the pitch. Meanwhile, an underhead pass to Alejandre, now to the touchline, as it's tapped over that time to Torellis, now to his own 22, as it's played by Onder. Now to the touchline again, back and forth we go. Keeping possession is Chicago City. Great move. And then tapped over to the touchline, playing a little monkey in the middle, gaining meters and also wasting some clock. Great header. And no choice, but Moorfield has to go up to get that ball because Duesa was right on his hip.
And you see there the difference. St. Charles, once their midfielder got it, then he looked for the pass. He didn't know where it was going to go. Chicago City all day, though.
He's just so tough, Wayman. Not only does he make the saves, partner, but Wayman didn't have to touch that crosser pass, but he did because he knew that it was going to be a one-timer shot on net. He gets in the way of the passing lane, he gets his gloves on the ball, and it creates havoc for the offense, and it changes direction of where the ball goes. Wayman deflects the pass, then cleared by Chicago. Corner kick coming up, and a chance to really put this one away. It's a tall task right now for St. Charles, already down by 2, but giving up another in Chicago might clear the bench with the substitutions.
This will actually be a penalty kick. And
Free
a
kick.
great opportunity for Chicago.
And it's from a tough angle, Grant, but not impossible to try to get a straight shot on net. The wall's in front of him. He's got a two-man wall, but most likely going to be a crosser. Well, he tries to shoot it on net. It's such a tall task. He's about 10 meters away from the post and 10 meters away from the goal. You have to really curve that one on net. That's almost like a David Beckham shot.
And thank you again for correcting me on the difference between free and penalty kick, Kyle.
Yeah.
Ooh,
because there'd be a lot of fans that are like, wait, why isn't he in front of the net?
Yeah.
Where's the penalty kick? Well, that's just because it's a free kick.
An opportunity there and a frozen rope by St. Charles. But that one just soars over the upper 90 of Chicago.
Breaks aren't going their way. Now, St. Charles has been outplayed by Chicago, but the breaks have also gone Chicago's way. The rebound try goes right in front. Sometimes you'll see it deflect out to the right or left, but Moorfield goes right off his body, right out in front. But Chicago took advantage. But it's been a little bit of both. Chicago's played a very good soccer match, and they've also had the breaks go their way a little bit. Out to the right, shot, and right on net. Moorfield makes a nice save. It was off the foot that time of Bawa. Good shot, Parter, but you'd like to go far post with it if you can, if you're Bawa.
Exactly. Every goaltender is quick at the chest. And we receive a yellow card here on St. Charles. Our first card of the day. As that tackle got just a bit aggressive there at the shins. City will get a kick from way back.
Then decision time for Chicago City. Do you want to pass it off to a midfielder, or do you want to get something towards the net?
I'd say you want to look at something at the 22.
Ref wasn't ready yet. Remember, you've got to make sure that both the defense and the offense are both situated.
They will pass it off, though.
That's why in soccer, it's so tough when you're trailing, because it's sometimes easy for teams to waste time, and then the ref's got to make sure that both teams are situated. So even when a team is down a goal, it can take time to, as that's a crosser. The intended target was Dueso, but kicked out by St. Charles. But when you're down a goal, there's so much time that it takes to get your corner and your free kick set up, and unless you practice it rushing your free kick and your corner kick set pieces, it can be tough to score down a goal.
That Chicago City centering pass there has been a knife in the heart of St. Charles all day. They put a stop to it there, though, but now you got to put a stop to a corner.
See what kind of set piece Chicago wants to run here. Line drive kick, header, just wide. They got it to the open man and under. But that's why it's so tough. Once the ball hits the turf, it's so hard to head that. Headers are much easier when it's a straight shot up in the air. It came off the turf, bounced right to his head, but Onder wasn't able to capitalize. And for Chicago, that's good though. It forced St. Charles to go end to end, and it wastes some time off that clock.
Onder will be thinking about that possible header goal until breakfast tomorrow, I'd say.
It's tough though. Once that ball hits the turf, and remember, it's not grass, so you get that large bounce off the turf. It's not like grass where it just bounces a little bit towards your knee. Sometimes you're not ready for it. Even though you practice on this turf, you play other teams that play on grass. And so you're used to different bounces. As that one clearly goes out of bounds. Intended target was 19. As it'll be Abil with the throw-in. The overhead pass, his intended target was McInnes, and then back to the legs of Wayman. He'll just kick it out of bounds.
I'd like to shine the spotlight on Gutierrez here for his second number 19 for Chicago City. What a day he has been having. He's been playing patient, and that's key for a defender. Like a great white shark off the coast of Cape Horn in South Africa. You know, deadly waters, but they look so calm.
Goal kick coming up for Wayman. We've lucked out with these soccer matches, Grant. It's very rarely been very hot, very humid. A lot of overcast games we've had in Chicago. Now, the people that like to swim or go to the beach in Chicago don't like it so much, but for soccer, these nice overcast days with the wind, it's been great at Lions for Hope Sports Complex.
Going back, though, that turf is going to be about, you know, we've had the shade on it for a while now. I've got to say it's going to be about 10, 12 degrees hotter than the outside air temperature. What an opportunity there for St. Charles, though. Talking about temperature.
Right.
Turning the gas up on the stove on that one.
Got to get it on net, though. Turned over by Chicago. Chance! Wayman with a beautiful save. Another try. That one was blocked. St. Charles will try it again. Headed away by Chicago. Up in the air. Not fully cleared, though, by Chicago. Now played by Blair. Over to the touchline. What a save, though, by Wayman.
And what hurts Chicago is St. Charles is maintaining possession here.
Yeah. Not able to get it deep, and also not able to get it out of bounds if you're Chicago. Not a clean clear by Chicago. Still at the 22. Turnaround shot. It was delivered by Cuzry. Now to the 40-meter. They'll try it again, will St. Charles. Feeds it over to Abil. Right-footed kick, the crosser, it's headed away. Good play by Senanu, and now a throw-in coming up at the 12th minute. Throw-in as he feeds Revelo out in front. It's kicked away by Onder, back to the 22. Sent over that time to Cuzry. Right-footed kick, double-teamed out in front. But St. Charles maintains possession. Out to Sesma, back to the 40. It's played by Cuzry. Back to Cuzry. As Cuzry's left-footed boot goes out to Sesma. And then tapped over that time to Abil. Right-footed kick out in front, off the fingertips of Wayman. And now back out to Chicago as it's played by Blevins. Out the 40-meter. Close to him is Blair. Now back to midfield. Gonda was the closest Chicago City player to the ball. And now played that time by Moorfield. As they look to keep the constant pressure is St. Charles. Abil playing it on the near touchline. Great pass. He was about to fall down, Grant, and he found a way to get it back to his defense. Now back out to Caldwell, to the 22. Good job of Chicago to avoid the handball. It looked like he was going to try to get his possible elbow in the way of that play. As that crosser off the foot of Gutierrez.
Abed with a beautiful touch to keep that last possession in bounds for St. Charles. You saw in the last shot he had on net, not too on net. His last shot came underneath and just to the right side of the ball, a bit too much, put a bit too much torque on it and sent it way left. So Abed will be kicking himself for that one. As a great opportunity for St. Charles. Turns into a slow attack and now a corner kick.
Cuzry, decent topspin on it. Chance, the header, just above the crossbar. Charlie Latshaw and the Chicago City SC team looking to go 4-0 on the season. The keys to success for them, front five players, complete freedom to play in any spaces. And he tells his players, you're a player, not a position. Have free will to go from defense to midfield, from forward to midfield. And he wants to keep the pressure going the entire 90 minutes. Play at the highest tempo. Establish rhythm in the possession. Not just get the ball, but know where you're going with it once you obtain it.
And to translate to any Ted Lasso fans out there, it's total football.
Yeah, it's interesting that in America we call football soccer, where soccer is the ultimate football game. It's literally all you use is your feet.
Well, to provide a little history as we have a break here waiting for the throw-in, it actually comes from the English who shorten words and put and on the end of words. So football became soccer, and soccer becomes a soccer. And they lose the A, and it goes back to soccer. And then the English just decided they liked the sound of football better because obviously it makes more sense. And
yeah, I mean, the history of American football, it came from rugby.
It did.
Right.
Which comes from soccer.
Right. And American football came from rugby in the Ivy League. Juan Cuzri will take it. Out in front, headed away by Chicago. Still up in the air. That was a major league pop-up. And now keeping the up-tempo is St. Charles. Battle of 24s, but Sinanu won that one. Gonda with it. Gonda with some space. Then kicked away that time by Ravello. Now over to Bawa. Out in front as it's played that time by Dueso. As Dueso, a little tap kick over to Bawa. Now out in front. Give and go. Off the head. It's played that time by Dueso at the 22-meter. No-look kick as he feeds Blevins. Blevins. And retrieving it is Bawa. Now obtaining it is Torellis. Now getting the pass is Alejandre. And now it's played by Sinanu. As it goes past the 22-meter to the touchline, as Michael Ravello will take the throw-in. Turnaround left-footed kick out to midfield. Looking for Sinanu and gets it to him. Gutierrez is there. Sinanu decides not to pass to Gutierrez, and then turnaround kick to Wayman off his left foot. Up in the air, off the chest. Left-footed kick to midfield. And the slide tackle pass, it's a beauty. Trying to do the through ball, too much on it, and it goes out of bounds. A lot of velocity. The problem is he doesn't have Usain Bolt to retrieve that through ball, so just past the feet of the nearest striker.
We talked about the evolution of the origins of the word soccer. Now let's talk about the beautiful evolution of soccer here in America. Yeah. What a humble origin story it has. More recently with the MLS, you hit the World Cup sort of era where you get a lot more intensity towards soccer coming from Midwestern and coastal America. And now you see it today where there's 3 or 4 competitive divisions that compete with the best of them and provide great entertainment for all. And Chicago City, prime example of that entertainment factor here today.
It's always fun, and like, there's been a lot of Chicago teams that have evolved in the city of Chicago. Obviously the Chicago Fire, but then you've got Chicago House Athletic Club, you've got Chicago City SC, Chicago Dutch Lions. The game of soccer has evolved in the 3rd largest city in the United States of America. Now past the 40-meter, straight up in the air. A lot of hang time on it. Gutierrez plays it off his head. Now off the chest. Should be a free kick, but they've let that go, Grant, and that's been the precedent set in the first 5 minutes of play. Wayman will play it. And if they had scored off that through ball, there would have been a lot of Chicago fans not happy with the ref, but goes their way that time as Wayman. He is just very good at the goalkeeper position.
Bawa on that last contact up front lost a shin guard. Off balance, but not off kilter today, as he's been on the attack all day long.
That's why it's tough being a ref. Interesting, they call that one, but the one that happened a minute ago, they don't call. Okay.
So we do get a stoppage here. Chicago gets a chance to recollect.
Right.
Bawa replaces his shin guard. And Chicago City sends this one back to Wayman.
If you're St. Charles, what do you do on offense? You're seeing Chicago playing a little monkey in the middle, back and forth passes. Do you bring all of your midfielders up now as we get closer to the 70th minute?
I wouldn't say all. I would put 3. I'd put 3 in that towards attack portion of the zone. You know, you don't want to gamble too much because a midfielder is crucial at this point in the game. You don't want to give up a goal, but you need one. So I'd put up 2, maybe 3 midfielders to play with the strikers a little bit and go from there. But you don't want to gamble all your poker chips here only 20 minutes into the second half.
Out to the touchline. Now over to the 22. As Chicago losing meters, but up by 2. They don't have to worry about that so much. They can just waste time.
I wouldn't call it wasting time so much as setting up the next attack.
Right.
You see it here, interrupted by St. Charles, but brought up once again by a big boot.
Headed over to the goalkeeper that time in Moorfield. Moorfield has given up 2 goals that weren't really his fault. He got the rebound that went in the net for Chicago, and then Gonda with a beautifully placed ball out front. Gonda finished. That was more on the defense than Moorfield. Too many players out in front of the net, and Chicago utilized the probability of them scoring to their advantage. They had 3 players out in front. Gonda finished it off the crosser, and that's where we stand right now with a 2-0 lead. Out to the 40-meter. It was played that time by Blair. Tap and go move out to the touchline. Left-footed boot. Then headed over to the 22. It's got to get to St. Charles. They knew going in that it was going to be a tall task to score on this Chicago team. And now Chicago, if we consider the Des Moines game, it would be 95 minutes of them not giving up a goal, assuming that they don't give up one in the second half.
St. Charles here, every attack into the box. We'll see what they can do here, but every attack has been fruitless. It looks great, and then that centering pass just can't find home. Chalk it up to Wayman, but I chalk it up to great defense by Chicago City all day.
When Wayman's had to make a play, he's made it, and when the defense have had to back up their goalkeeper, they've done it. St. Charles has played a good game, but you could make the argument that Chicago's played almost perfect today.
That asterisk on almost perfect just comes from the turnovers. Every true possession of St. Charles just came from a turnover. And if you can eliminate those mistakes on your own end of the pitch, then you are off to a great day, a great season if you're Chicago.
Up in the air. Wayman with a nice play. Even better play by Gutierrez. What a play by Gutierrez, Grant. Knew where his goalkeeper was, knew that he was going to have to tap that ball forward. And Gutierrez just booted it out just as it got closer to the end line.
Gutierrez like a one-eyed cat peeping in a seafood store. He's just ready for it, and attacks.
At midfield, off the foot that time of Quentin Blair. Now over to Sesma. Andre Sesma on the St. Charles team that's only lost 1 so far coming into tonight. They were actually down 1-0 at halftime to Springfield, but they scored 3 unanswered to keep their season alive. As we're seeing some substitutions getting ready for St. Charles.
There's the unfortunate bit. You saw it on the last possession of St. Charles. They're pushing that end line, and the true end line is the blue line. A little tough to see on the screen, but it ends 5 meters just before the rugby end line. So when you're on that edge, it's sometimes tough to tell just how far you can push it.
And it gets a little confusing because the field goal posts are just behind the goal, but luckily it's not like an American high school football field where they'll play soccer on it and the goal is right on top of the field goal post. Then it gets really confusing.
No, yes. But these professionals know just what they're doing, and you see it in City right now. Look at this attack.
Out in front. Played well by St. Charles, though they saw it all the way. It was a backdoor pass. Off the back door was Claudel, coming off the bench today. Now to midfield to the 40-meter. Playing it is Capani. Now to the 40 meter. As it's sent over to the 22. Lead pass. And getting it that time was Mensah Jr. to the 22 meter. As he's looking for Claudel. Instead, it's past midfield. And he might have been, the ball might have gone out of bounds. And it did. At the 25th meter of the second half, 25th minute of the second half. Now past the 40 meter. Played right now by Torres. Out in front, chance for Chicago. Stop and start move, shot! Just barely touched by Moorfield. Corner kick coming up.
What patience by Chicago there, top of the box, taking that extra touch and just letting the tide roll. And Blevins, you see him there, he's beating himself up, but you can't after a shot like that. That's just unfortunate, the way it rolls off the boot there. But Blevins, what a sight that he has, what vision he has to take that extra step, loop around, look for another clearer shot.
Off the head, went off the head of Claudel, now out of bounds. And will be played right now by 2. Nope, instead it'll be 12 in Ravello.
Just over 70 minutes of play. 20 to go. Under 20 to go, I should say. Substitutions here for St. Charles. One can only imagine that these substitutes are offensively minded.
Got to score quickly. You got to score twice in 20 minutes. So in the next 10 minutes, ideally you want to score if you're St. Charles. And for Chicago, be conservative when you need to, be aggressive when you need to. A little bit of both to get this 2-0 clean sheet or a 2-1 to win. I'm looking forward to that match tomorrow. Minnesota against Chicago. Meanwhile, here comes Chicago to make it 3-0. Oh, what a play! Rebound, try to goal!
Team play right there all the way. You see it time and time and time again now. For the third time, Chicago City with the attack and then the speed right behind for that second and even third opportunity. It's just hurting St. Charles right now as they can't find a stop to Chicago City.
Well, you talked about it, Grant. He was going to be your man of the match. I don't know if he's the man of the match because he made it 3-0, but that definitely silenced the crowd for St. Charles FC. Beautiful goal by Bawa.
Bawa, like you said, not the lead-off man today that I predicted he would be, but that's a crucial goal, almost as important as the first. That third right there is what we talked about. Whoever scores that next goal will win today. Do you still think it's true?
I said 3-0, right? At the halftime show, I thought it was going to be a 3-0 win for Chicago.
You did say 3-0, and it is looking like a great prediction now. I'm going to stop calling you Kyle and start calling you Nostradamus.
Nostradamus Smith?
Nostradamus Smith, of course.
Free kick coming up. The wall's in front of him. Can he bend that into the net like Beckham? Wayman gets a piece of it. I like the idea, though, partner. Best case scenario is you score. Second base case scenario, it goes off Wayman's fingertips. You get a corner kick set piece out of it.
It is the right idea. Not what St. Charles had planned, though. Wayman just ruining the dreams of the St. Chuck faithful.
Left-footed boot. Body's flying. St. Charles wants the PK. It's hard to call it there, though, Grant. You really haven't called much of anything all day. You're really going to call a PK there. But then again, if it impacted the play, it impacted the play.
you're going to hold off on calling that one, as that clear goes right into the Enterprise parking lot, so St. Charles will get another attack here.
Got to score now, though. Partially deflected and blocked away by Chicago. Dominating. Since they trailed 1-0 to Des Moines, they have not given up a goal. And they've scored at least 3 goals in 2 of those 3 matches. Left-footed boot off the corner. Headed away, but St. Charles maintains possession. Left-footed kick, headed away by Chicago. Up in the air. Now headed over. Back and forth we go off the body of Bawa. Claudel trying to steal. Here comes St. Charles. Out in front, chance! Just past the foot that time of Glisson.
We talked earlier in the broadcast, or at least I talked earlier in the broadcast, about the staple of St. Louis and therefore St. Charles, the toasted ravioli. The crispy, crunchy, beefy staple of that city was the mood today. Still is the mood, but right now for Chicago, it's their city staple, the Italian beef dipped with hot peppers. It is hearty, and what a beefy win today if it stays the same score for another 14 minutes.
Kicked over to the 40-meter. No-look kick by Gutierrez out at midfield. It's now played by 19. And now over that time to 10. And a push off that time by 19. Falling to the turf is Torres. Well, if you're St. Charles, you haven't seen a lot called today. You need 3 goals. I'm not saying I condone cheating, but you can almost understand the frustration. Well, if they haven't called a lot, maybe I can get away with this one, but the ref saw that one all the way. Out to midfield. Another chance for Chicago. Great save, though, for Moorfield. It's just been a tough day for Moorfield. Everything's out in front of him. The defense is getting beat a couple of times today. He's had to do a lot, and unfortunately he's not Tim Howard, so it's a 3-0 lead right now for Chicago.
You know, I'm not sure if you've been out to the Columbia Yacht Club, Kyle, but...
Nice goal. They feed it that time to McInnes. 3-1 lead for St. Charles. The problem, though, Grant, it's probably too little, too late.
It is, but McInnes is proving my point just 5 sentences too early here. See, back out at the Columbia Yacht Club, there's a big old ship, and that ship is called the Abogwit, named after the Abogwit First Nation of the Mi'kmaq people who occupy Prince Edward Island in Canada for the last 10,000 years. And now the old Abogwit was the ferry that connected Nova Scotia in eastern Canada to Prince Edward Island, and it was the only crossing to the island. And now there's only one way home for St. Charles right now. And just as you said there, that last goal by them is the only way through Wayman. And right now, all day, he's been showing signs that the ferry crossing of the Abogwit is closed.
So, yeah, the only way you're going to score on Wayman, it's got to be a perfect pass and a perfect header. Out in front, another goal for Chicago. The icing of the cake of a beautiful win for Chicago. Everything's going well for the home team today. They don't get the clean sheet, but they do get the blowout victory, Grant.
Still plenty of soccer left to be played, of course, but right now, Chicago, they must have heard your 3-goal differential prediction at halftime before they came out. What a second half Chicago has had right now. Whenever they didn't get slapped in the face by any means, but whenever they run into some adversity with that last St. Charles goal, they come back and fire back hard with a goal of their own to make a statement.
Well, that's been the problem with St. Charles this year, Grant, is they can score goals. The goal differential, it came to bite them today. The defense has not been spectacular this year for St. Charles. They've been pretty good today, but pretty good. That's not going to get it done against an undefeated Chicago City team.
The good news is there's a lot of key things to focus on for St. Charles. They've played very well today. Facing a team with this tempo, with this pace, it's so difficult, Kyle. And St. Charles has come out aggressive, playing their own pace. They have had to adjust to Chicago City, but they've adjusted well, I would say.
Yeah, it's been a Chicago City team that every time that they face adversity, they've been able to match it. They're up 2-0 against Springfield, as that's a crosser out in front and cleared by Chicago. It's now played by Sammy Sharaf coming off the bench. But they gave up 2 goals to Springfield. They're now trailing. I mean, it's tied 2-2 as it's straight up in the air. It's off the foot of Onder.
Good clear there by Onder to relieve the pressure off Wayman, who's played spectacularly today.
As he has all season. But yeah, I mean, a Chicago team, every time they face adversity, they find a way to battle their way through it, off the head, and then it's sent out in front, then played by Claudel as he heads it out of the 22-meter. They give up 2 set-piece goals to Springfield. They then score 2 more to win 4-2. Been pretty dominant since then. They trail early 1-0 to Des Moines, a team that only lost once in the regular season in 2 seasons. Then they scored 3 unanswered. Granted, it was here. It wasn't at Des Moines, but it was here. They scored 3 unanswered. They pretty much dominate Peoria from the opening kick. They win that one 2-0. And then today they pretty much dominated from the opening kick today.
Chicago City all season has been that polished edge, that linseed oil on a finished woodworking project that looks so smooth. They've been crisp all season. St. Charles, however, they're a bit of a sandpaper team. They need to work through it every match, and you see it here today. They look great at the end here, and if they played these last 10 minutes like they did the first 40, we would be looking at a different scoreboard right now. But unfortunately, St. Charles needed to match Chicago, as we were saying, and they needed to find that tempo. They needed to adjust. They needed to work through, and right now, they need to find more hope.
At the 22, and not able to get the shot he wanted was Sharaf. He was guarded closely on the play. So if you're St. Charles, the match has clearly gotten away from you. Do you want to try new things on offense, plays you haven't practiced as much?
You want to keep it safe, right? You don't want to try anything that's going to put any players at risk. I mean, yes, this is a all-out, all-in moment of the game where you need every last drop of sweat, every last ounce of energy. But right now you got to cut your losses. And Chicago City has been dominant all day. No matter what you do try, it's going to be hard to find that opportunity. So St. Charles, they're going to keep playing their style. They're going to keep working on things. Moving forward, they're going to hope for a better season ahead as it closes and finds the draw end of the year. But St. Charles, if they stick with this familiar roster in the next season, they do have a lot going forward, which will help them in the future.
Got to give credit to this coaching staff led by Charlie Latshaw for USL 2 Chicago City SC. As we talked a little bit about the game plan today for Chicago, out to the right. Kick, it's in the net. It's a 5-1 lead for Chicago City SC. Beautiful goal, 5-1 in favor of the home team.
Just dominating, the name of the game today. It was in their game plan that we saw a couple days ago, and you see it play out here, how it's just so effective to hit somebody in the mouth and keep hitting them. It's almost a Mike Tyson-esque way of playing where you just come out so strong and finish with the same energy. I haven't seen any fatigue from Chicago City yet.
You think of those old Arkansas Razorback teams. Nolan Richardson, 40 minutes of HE double hockey sticks. And for Chicago, it's kind of that same mentality. Constant pressure. Yes, it's a huge cardio sport in soccer, but you can see the cardio and how in shape these players are. They just don't seem fatigued. They don't seem phased by the moment. Lead pass as that through ball is picked up by Wayman.
I will say, though, 84th minute, you're really asking yourself, you can't look too much up at the scoreboard as you're focused too much on play. But, you know, again, 84th, 85th minute, it starts feeling like the 100th minute. And you really start asking yourself, when am I going to hear 3 whistles? And that is the best sound in the world to a goalkeeper or defender. Just those 3 sharp whistles, and this game is over, although it's already done.
I mean, it was pretty much done when it was 3-0. I appreciate St. Charles for not wanting to quit. They gave it their all. The header to make it 3-1, but credit to Chicago. Look, they wanted to give their home fans a show, and they did. Offensively, 5 goals, incredible. And this is no slouch of a St. Charles team. They came in it tonight, 3rd place in the conference, still in the contention for 2nd place and to get that spot in the round of 32. But Chicago, they will have to play Des Moines one more time. But could Chicago be undefeated when they play Des Moines in Iowa? That remains to be seen, but right now it's looking like it.
That's the problem, is you beat a team, and you don't just win against a team. Like I said, you beat a team, and then you got to go face them on the road, and that's a tough victory.
Right.
So Chicago, they've been playing great all year, but it all comes down to this. The last couple weeks, the last few games of the season, how can you push forward?
To target was 10. And then a left-footed boot. Major league pop-up as it went off the head briefly of Sharaf down to the 40-meter.
Look at the speed on the right-hand side, broken up by St. Charles, but quickly regained back by Chicago. And just like that, Kyle, the field will flip in this match.
At the 40-meter, and no call. They play advantage, and stolen away by Gutierrez. They do go to the bench. They go to 40, as Andrew Schweinert now into the match. We had him in the pregame show, looking for a call, and that's the thing, partner. These refs have to take note of that, as St. Charles, they did not want to lose today. They especially did not want to lose by 4 goals. Will you see the chippiness continue as we get closer to the 90th minute and then extra time? So even though the refs haven't called a lot today, you might have to start calling it, because you don't want these free kicks to become yellow cards or even red cards. Out to Sananu. Now played by Gutierrez. If you're just joining us, you're a little bit late, but better late than never. It's a 5-1 lead for Chicago. Scored twice in the first half, 3 in the second half. Just not enough from St. Charles offense. And we knew going in for St. Charles to win, it might have been one of those 3-2 games. They've been known more for their offense than their defense, and they just didn't have enough defense today. And they clearly did not have the offense to match Wayman's skill between the pipes.
And here in the final 2 minutes of regulation, you still see pressure from both ends. Chicago on that previous attack, and now St. Charles with an opportunity. Fortunately, they'll get a corner kick here. Hasn't been successful all day. A throw-in, pardon me. But St. Charles with an attack here, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a 4-goal difference.
I appreciate the gamesmanship of St. Charles, and I think that's going to help them out later on in the season. They're playing hard, even though the game's clearly over, because there's going to be times when you want to give up and you're only down a goal. But if you keep doing this in matches, you get used to it, muscle memory, and you're used to that type of intensity, even though you're down 5-1, as that's a header. But you talked about how great this team is for Chicago, Grant, and just some of the keys to victory for Charlie Latshaw and the coaching staff for Chicago City. He emphasizes no free shots. So you see a lot of defenders don't give up on the play, and they slide tackle block it, and they help out Wayman. They make sure Wayman's not screened, but they get in the way of the shots, and they create problems for the defense. We saw that a lot against Des Moines. And for teams to beat Chicago City, they're going to have to shoot quick and get the passes out quick in front of the net, because Chicago is up to the task of blocking shots, taking one for the team and helping out their goalkeeper.
To that no free shots point, Gutierrez gets my gold star, the pat on the back today, for emphasizing the coach's points and keys to success. What a game he has had, and a quiet game. So I'll give him the unrecognized recognition he deserves here, as Gutierrez has put a stop to so many shots today.
Charlie Ladshaw, he also urges to win the ball back. When you don't have it, have that urge to get it back. Play with pace, play smart, because you don't want to sprint the entire 90 minutes, then you're going to be gassed by the 50th minute. But have an urgency to win the ball back. Don't give up on the play, and have an urgency to get it back.
And you see it here on the turnovers that Chicago City has had today, where St. Charles has had a chance. They don't put their heads back and, take a couple steps off and then go back to it. They turn right on a dime and get back on defense, and every attacker, midfielder to striker, has come back and played aggressively on defense if they let one go through their legs.
So we're going to have about 3 minutes of extra time. Don't go anywhere. The post-game show brought to you by SBS coming up next. It's been a total team effort, so it's going to be hard to interview who we're going to pick, and the ref says we're just going to call it here. Usually we get 3 minutes, but we get the very strange 50 seconds of extra time, but that does it. 5-1 win for Chicago, their biggest win of the season. I still think the Des Moines win was the most impressive one, but they showed, look, we're not going to look ahead to that Des Moines game in Iowa. We had a task today. We achieved that task. We talked to Andrew Schweiner in the pregame show. We're looking to go 1-0 every week. We're looking to go 1-0 every match. And they achieved that. They went undefeated today, and for their next match, they're looking to go undefeated again.
It'll be a difficult road ahead, and we look forward to that road ahead here from Sports Broadcast Solutions.
So that does it for our play-by-play broadcast. Post-game show coming up next for our excellent crew. For Noah White and Grant Harrison, I'm Kyle Smith. Post-game show coming up next on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on Channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway, a 2-on-0, a shot, and a goal! So 3-3, the power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
My favorite activity is to play, where you can do softball, you can hula hoop, you can jump rope, and you can feed the horses. And you have monkey bars.
One of my favorite memories. I remember we were on a ghost hike and we were walking and we heard something rustling in the woods and then something started chasing us and we just had to run. We just kept running. It was really funny.
My favorite activity is crew challenges. You get to have competition with the other teams and you get bragging rights and treats at the end of the competition.
You get to meet new people without them acting some type of way, just different out there.
Off the Street Club is Chicago's oldest club for boys and girls. We're proud to be celebrating 123 years of unbroken service to Chicago area children. With the gracious help of Camp Out for Kids, we're able to send over 100 kids to camp, and there, the kids can thrive. And I hope that the folks at Camp Out for Kids understand that. It's there to have a lot of fun in the summertime, but also to help change lives. This partnership is all about changing lives with Camp Out for Kids.
During the summertime, that's when all the violence peaks up and you can't just run away from it. It just kind of happens.
A lot of us, we grows up in dangerous neighborhood. Camp, it takes all of it away. You don't hear no shots, gunfire, none of that.
You hear a lot of birds and trees, kids' laughter, water splashing, all of that stuff.
The kids feel untouchable at camp. Camp is a getaway. It's, their secret place where they can just be away from all the things that would otherwise steal their future, steal their summer, and maybe even steal their lives. Growing up in this neighborhood, a lot of kids don't get a lot of opportunities to even travel outside of their community. It's a chance for kids to just be free out in nature. The kids thrive at camp because they can just put a lot of their cares away. They leave them all here.
Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. I'm Kyle Smith, along with Mark Gonda, the SBS man of the match. Mark, a 5-1 win. Did you guys feel confident that you were going to blow out St. Charles today?
Yeah, we felt confident. We've been working as a team in training, and we got a lot of talented guys and 5 different guys on the score sheet. That's awesome for us. So happy with that.
I don't want to jinx you, but you probably knew that you're undefeated. Did head coach Charlie Latshaw tell you guys you might be able to go undefeated in the Heartland Conference this year?
We're confident in every game that we play in, so we don't care who we play. We know we're going to win, and we think we're going to win, so that's how we're going to do it right now.
4-0 on the season. You're perfect 3-0 on this pitch. The women's team has not lost on this pitch. What makes this pitch so difficult for teams to play on?
I think, the atmosphere is nice. We get some fans, and we're just comfortable here. And listen, we don't think anyone's going to beat us here. We're confident, so yeah.
Jackson Wayman, do you know his secret sauce yet, why he's so good between the pipes?
Jackson, dude, that guy gets me mad in training because it's hard to score on him, too, in training. So he's been showing it in training. He's an awesome player. He keeps us in games, so happy to be with him, man.
So when we watched the keys to success, we got them from head coach Charlie Latshaw today. He said no free shots. So what do you guys work on in practice to help out Wayman, get in front of those shots, block them, make sure Wayman's not screened at all times?
We do a bunch of drills. We do 3v3s, a bunch of drills where the forwards just go at the defenders, and it's as basic as Josh saying, no free shots. So they try to do their best, and we work in training. We've been working hard, and Wayman's awesome, our backline's awesome, and we're in a hot streak right now, and let's keep going.
Final thoughts about the match. If you guys keep winning, you're going to the postseason, but we talked to Andrew Schweier in the pregame show, and he said we're looking to go 1-0 every match.
1-0 every match. That's exactly what Andrew's saying. I'm with him. Next game's Dutch Lions. We're focusing on that right now.
That does it for our post-game show. So for our excellent crew, for Noah White, for Grant Harrison, I'm Kyle Smith signing off, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon for the women's game. Welcome to the post-game show, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network. Welcome to the post-game show, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. I'm Kyle Smith, along with Mark Gonda, the SBS man of the match. Mark, a 5-1 win. Did you guys feel confident that you were going to blow out St. Charles today?
Yeah, we felt confident. We've been working as a team in training, and we got a lot of talented guys and 5 different guys on the score sheet. That's awesome for us. So happy with that.
I don't want to jinx you, but you probably knew that you're undefeated. Did head coach Charlie Latshaw tell you guys you might be able to go undefeated in the Heartland Conference this year?
We're confident in every game that we play in, so we don't care who we play. We know we're going to win, and we think we're going to win, so that's how we're going to do it right now.
4-0 on the season. You're perfect. 3-0 on this pitch. The women's team has not lost on this pitch. What makes this pitch so difficult for teams to play on?
I think, the atmosphere is nice. We get some fans, and we're just comfortable here. And listen, we don't think anyone's going to beat us here. We're confident, so yeah.
Jackson Wayman, do you know his secret sauce yet, why he's so good between the pipes?
Jackson, dude, that guy gets me mad in training because it's hard to score on him, too, in training. So he's been showing it in training. He's an awesome player. He keeps us in games, so happy to be with him, man.
So when we watched the keys to success, we got them from head coach Charlie Latshaw today. He said no free shots. So what do you guys work on in practice to help out Wayman, get in front of those shots, block them, make sure Wayman's not screened at all times?
We do a bunch of drills. We do 3v3s, a bunch of drills where the forwards just go at the defenders, and it's as basic as Josh saying, no free shots. So they try to do their best, and we work in training. We've been working hard, and Wayman's awesome, our backline's awesome, and, we're in a hot streak right now, and let's keep going.
Final thoughts about the match. If you guys keep winning, you're going to the postseason, but we talked to Andrew Schweier in the pregame show, and he said, we're looking to go 1-0 every match.
1-0 every match. That's exactly what Andrew was saying. I'm with him. Next game's Dutch Lions. We're focusing on that right now.
That does it for our post-game show. So for our excellent crew, for Noah White, for Grant Harrison, I'm Kyle Smith signing off, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon for the women's game.